take a shot, and this should be actually pretty unique because I can't get any, there it goes. And then you're gonna rotate the film forward. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have been well, surviving the coronavirus. Today I'm gonna be talking to you guys about this. This is my relatively new film camera. It's the Pentax K1000 by Acai, but not the acai berry. This camera isn't anything special if we're being honest. It's just an entry-level film camera that I decided to purchase to become a better film photographer and to become a better photographer all around. A lot of you might be thinking right now, why did you get a film camera with all the new camera releases that have just happened from Canon, Sony, and I believe soon to be Nikon? I got into film photography for one reason and one reason only. It's gonna help me become a better photographer in the long run. I kind of wanted to get back to the bare bones of what photography is, where it started, how it began. Obviously, this isn't the accordion long light capture cameras, but I really wouldn't know how to shoot any of those. I wanted to know really how to use the ISO, shutter speed. There is not so much f-stop on this as much as there is on a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, but I wanted to get back to where it all started. There is settings on here where I can switch the ISO. I've got my film forward, I've got my shutter button, and I've got basically film and back release. Some pros and cons to film photography that I have noticed. Just to be honest, there's probably more cons than there are pros when you compare it to a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Some cons are you have to buy the film individually. This film, which is color film, is $6.99 a pop, comes with about 36 shots. This one is $7.99 a pop, black and white film, also 36 shots. So that alone you're looking at about, let's call it $15. The camera I got, you can probably find one if your grandparents don't just have one laying around, between $100 to $200. I got mine for $150 at Wings Camera in Northeast Atlanta. When I bought the camera, it came with the lens and a camera strap and a roll of film. You also have to pay to get your film developed if you're not doing it yourself. That can run a bill up. I pay about $15 for film, I pay about $15 for color film, and I pay $20 for black and white film. They digitally print them for me and send them in a Google Doc, which is a huge pro because I don't have the equipment or material to turn my film negatives into digital prints. That's a huge blessing that they do for me. I am so happy I have this camera. Let me tell you a little bit about these moving parts and pieces on the camera and what it really takes to take a photo. So now I'm going to show you guys the moving parts of the Pentax K1000. This is going to be similar to all sorts of beginner film cameras. Right here we've got the button that takes the photo itself. That's not going to be able to work until you progress the film forward with this lever. I'm not going to progress the film forward because film isn't cheap. That being said, this is going to rotate and this can tighten the film down when you're ready to take the shot. Always make sure that it's tight before you take the shot so you're not overlapping film shots. Here you've got, on the top, you've got that little square here. That's going to be your ISO. In order to change that, you're going to lift up on this metal ring. It's actually not that easy, but you lift up here, you rotate that, and that's going to change your ISO. These numbers here, 2, 4, 8, 15, and so on, that's your shutter speed. This I have no problem changing. And then obviously, like I mentioned earlier, this is the lever that's going to move the film forward, and it's going to tell you how many shots you have left. In order to open the back of the camera up, you're going to lift up on the little twisty knob, and it's going to pop it open in the back. This is where the film has been rolled after the shots have been taken. This is where the film's at. And then when you're done, you're closing it up, bringing the wheel down all the way, and it's going to start your film over. That being said, I've got a 50mm lens on here. It drops to 1.7. Make sure that when you're shooting on a film camera to make the line in the middle. That's for the Pentax K1000. I'm not sure how it is on other film cameras. That being said, you've got the battery opening here. You've got a button to be pushed here. And you can obviously hook up camera straps. I hate camera straps, so I took it off for this video specifically because I hate camera straps. That's really as simple as it gets. The challenge with film cameras is you have to make sure that your lighting is right, and you always have to remember what you're shooting in, whether it's film, or excuse me, whether it's color or if it's black and white. And then the type of films will vary on how much contrast and how much brightness you can get in those. But really, the film camera is teaching me to be a better photographer in so many ways, as opposed to just digitally with DSLR or mirrorless cameras, because you have to kind of understand cameras as a whole before knowing, oh, I know this setting and this setting, beep, bop, boop. You have to actually know what it is you're going to set your ISO to, your shutter speed, and things of that nature before you can kind of dive in. I'm going to be popping in film photos that I've taken from this camera. It's my first roll of film that I got developed. Cool thing about it is I got all 36 shots. The guy at the camera store said, "This is your first roll of film?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Ever?" I'm like, 100%. He's like, "Most people do not get all 36 shots on their first roll that they've ever shot." And I told him that my wife and I, Sam and I, were actual photographers, and I know kind of the ins and the outs of the camera, but I didn't expect to actually get that many shots successfully taken and developed. I do want to let you know that I'm going to be putting out these film shots I've taken just throughout the video. I hope you guys enjoy them. The cool thing about them is I'm not going to do any post-editing to the photos at all. I tried to do some before, and I think it takes away from the photos themselves. When it comes to film photography, I think leaving it the way it is really gives a story, gives power to this photo taken. So if you guys have any comments or any suggestions for the film photography, I'd love to hear it. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I went into detail enough with the film camera. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to the film camera, the film I use, the camera we're using, the boom operator, the light setup, really any questions for me or my wife, we'd love to answer them. Leave a message in the comments. If you guys want to see more content like this, like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. All of you who do watch, it does mean a lot that you do watch. I hope you guys are learning something, and I hope you guys share this with others who will benefit from it. I don't know what it's called, but this is the button that takes the photo. This is what moves the film forward. Son of a gun. Oh man. I don't know how many film shots I've got because I opened the back up. This is not part of the video, by the way.
Oh my god.
Oh no. I was at like 14 or 15. I'll say action. Action. A lot of you might be wondering why oh, sorry. You're totally good. That was my bad.
I was like...
Slade doesn't know!